How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to a new video. So 2018 was a great year for films. However, there were some great films that weren't seen by a lot of people. This could be because of the huge amount of blockbusters that came out, like Infinity War, Mission Impossible, Fallout, or other factors like they might not have been released in many countries. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about those films, the films that were overlooked in 2018. In my opinion, documentary films don't get enough love from general audiences and most critics. However, I feel like 2018 was a really strong year when it comes to documentaries. In 2018, we had, at least in my opinion, 5 or 6 great documentaries, but in this video I'll be talking about just 3 of them. So my first documentary I'll be talking about is the film called Shirkers. Now, it's on Netflix and it's pretty insane. Shirkers is about basically one of Singapore's first low-budget independent films and how it was being made and how one man who was believed to be a mentor to the filmmakers who created Shirkers actually destroyed everything in the film and ruined everything. And Shirkers is a film basically about how they made Shirkers, and it's about how they came to terms with the loss of their film. It's truly insane, and it's an interesting look into Singapore in the 90s, as well as an interesting sort of character study about the person that managed to ruin a film with so much potential. The second documentary I'm going to be talking about is called 3 Identical Strangers, and it's basically about a crazy story that happened a while ago about 3 brothers who were all separated at birth, these 3 triplets, and then one day they pretty much find each other. However, something mysterious is afoot, and basically this documentary explores the relationship the brothers had once they found each other, but also some of the more mysterious things to do with what happened in the situation. I don't want to say anything else because it's a truly captivating and riveting documentary, and I don't want to give away too much. So, after your faith in humanity is crushed by Shirkers and 3 Identical Strangers, you can go see Won't You Be My Neighbor. Probably one of the best documentaries I've seen ever. Won't You Be My Neighbor is a documentary about Fred Rogers, who was a children's TV show entertainer for a huge period of time, I think almost 30 years. And it's about his impact on children and how much of a good person he was. And honestly, this is a documentary that I thought I would not connect with because I didn't grow up watching Fred Rogers. However, you learn so much about the subject of the film that you can't help but connect with him, and really it's something to put a smile on your face, and it's a film about a truly great person. 2018 had some really great thrillers with great people and very talented people working both in front and behind the cameras. If you're a fan of heist thrillers, then Widows and American Animals is perfect for you. Widows is about a group of ladies that have to commit a heist after their bank robber husbands all get killed, and people are looking for the money that was stolen by their husbands, so they have no choice but to pull off a heist to get money, basically. And it has a huge cast, which is amazing. You got Viola Davis, Michelle Rodriguez, Elizabeth Debicki, Cynthia Erivo, Colin Farrell, Liam Neeson, and a lot more. It's directed by Steve McQueen, who is best known for directing 12 Years a Slave, and it's written by Gillian Flynn, who also wrote Gone Girl. The whole film is thrilling, and this film has probably some of the best villains I've seen in a heist film. The villains are played by Brian Tyree Henry and Daniel Kaluuya, and I feel Daniel Kaluuya was robbed of an Oscar nomination for his role in Widows because he was truly chilling, in my opinion. Another brilliant heist film is American Animals by director Bart Layton, who is best known for his documentary Imposters, which is another great documentary which I highly recommend you check out. So American Animals is about a group of college students who pretty much are a bit aimless in what they want to do in the future, so they decide to rob their school library because it has some extremely rare pieces of literature and extremely rare journals. And basically it's based on a true story, and the film blends documentary filmmaking with narrative filmmaking in this really innovative technique. And some of the shots and ideas in the film literally are haunting, and the performances are amazing by Evan Peters and Barry Keoghan. Bart Layton does a great job directing. It's well written, well edited, and well shot, and it's super suspenseful. And in the main heist sequence, I actually felt like I was on the edge of my seat, and you almost feel nauseous in some of the heist sequences because of how tense and suspenseful it is. The next thriller I'm going to talk about is Bad Times at the El Royale, which I already made a video on, so I'll be quick here. No one saw this film. It's a shock to me because the cast is incredible, but the marketing was so lackluster, and it was only in theaters for like a few weeks and then gone. It's on Blu-ray right now, it's on iTunes, go see it, and if you want to know more about the film, here's a link to my video in the description below. The final thriller I'm going to talk about is Searching. Now, Searching is one of the most innovative films I've seen in a long time. It's a mystery thriller about a single father played by John Cho, who has to search for his daughter Margot, who goes missing all of a sudden one night, and all he has is her laptop. And the film takes place entirely on like laptop screens and iPhones and like technology, and this has been done before in Unfriended. However, this concept is really pushed to its fullest potential in Searching, and it turns what would have been a somewhat bland story into something truly riveting and incredible. Director Anish Chaganty and producer Savahanian do a great job at creating the film. Editor Will Merrick does an amazing job at pretty much making a really tightly paced thriller. And honestly, this is probably one of my favourite films of 2018, if not my favourite film of 2018. Also, there are tons of Easter eggs throughout the film, as well as great performances from John Cho and the other cast members like Deborah Messing. Creating a film that is both hilarious and serious and dramatic is very hard to do. However, I feel there are a few films that did this extremely well in 2018, yet no one saw them. One of the films I'm going to talk about is Blindspotting. Now, Blindspotting is an amazing film. It stars David Diggs and Rafael Casal. David Diggs plays Colin, and Rafael Casal plays Miles. And Colin and Miles are best friends. However, Miles is a troublemaker, and he gets them into trouble a lot. However, it seems that Colin always suffers the consequences. And Colin is in the last 3 to 4 days of his parole when he witnesses a police shooting, and this incites off a bunch of events in Colin's life. The film is hilarious and really sharp and witty. However, at the same time, it can be super serious and dramatic, and both actors do an amazing job. It's a film that tackles many deep and difficult topics like police brutality, gentrification, identity, and racism, and it does a very good job at it, and it's a very nuanced look at all these topics, and I'm honestly shocked it was left out of the Oscar conversation. The next comedy drama I want to talk about is Thunder Road, written, directed, produced, edited, and starring Jim Cummings. Now, Jim Cummings is a pretty new director on the scene, yet he's proven that he is ultra talented, because Thunder Road is incredible. The film only had a budget of $200,000, and something like Justice League had a budget of $250 million. So that's, almost over 1,000 times more expensive than Thunder Road. Thunder Road is based off a short film of the same name made by Jim, and it basically follows a cop on pretty much custody. Yeah, after his mother dies and his wife is fighting for custody of their child, the main character pretty much goes into a spiral and his life goes into chaos. And it's really well written, shot, acted, directed. This is a really good film, and at its most tragic and depressing moments, it still manages to incite a little bit of humor that eases the audience. And honestly, this is a really, really good film, and it's probably one of the best ultra low budget films since El Mariachi, made by Robert Rodriguez. 2018 had some great science fiction films. However, there were a few that were overlooked that I feel should be talked about. One film I was shocked that not a lot of people saw was First Man. First Man was directed by Damien Chazelle, the guy who brought us La La Land and Whiplash. It stars Ryan Gosling, Claire Foy, and a lot more. It's based on one of the most important things in human history, the moon landing, and it's a very interesting character piece on Neil Armstrong. It details from the moment he decides to become an astronaut all the way to him going to the moon. And they don't cover anything up. This film is brutal. It shows every single aspect of being an astronaut and how difficult it is. And honestly, if you're a little kid and you see this, you probably don't want to be an astronaut after watching this, because it shows how incredibly tough it was to go to the moon and to become an astronaut, especially at that time. The performances from both Claire Foy and Ryan Gosling were amazing, and the music by Justin Hurwitz was incredible, and I am genuinely annoyed it did not get any nominations at the Oscar. And the camera work by Lena Sargin is amazing, and honestly, this film is great. And there's a scene towards the end that made a film I was thinking wasn't very good, but it turned a pretty good film into an amazing film. And that scene reminded me of why I love film so much. And it shocks me that no one's, like the general audience and few critics, didn't like this film, especially because of the cast and the director. But it's a slow and more intimate look into Neil Armstrong that I don't think audiences were interested in. Therefore, it might not have done that well in the box. Another great sci-fi film this year was Annihilation. This film didn't do at the box office either, which is weird because it's by the director of the Oscar-winning film Ex Machina. It has a big star-studded cast that features Natalie Portman, Oscar Isaac, Gina Rodriguez, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Tessa Thompson, and a lot more. The visuals and music and special effects are all really good, and I'm shocked that Annihilation didn't get any nominations in those categories for the Oscars. The story is compelling, and it's basically about this alien substance or like life form that lands onto a part of Florida, and it creates this huge bubble sort of thing that transforms everything inside it, and it's insane. It's like, the best way I can describe it is like my biology course from year 10 on LSD. It's a crazy good film. It's scary, it's thrilling, it's a great sci-fi, yet no one saw it, so it's a bit sad. However, it's on Netflix in most places other than the US. It was not released theatrically where I live, but it was put on Netflix immediately when it was released in theaters in the US. So if you have Netflix, please do check this film out. One of the worst films of 2018 was Venom. However, a film very similar to Venom came out a few months before, and it's a billion times better than Venom. This film is called Upgrade, and Upgrade stars Logan Marshall Green as Grey Trace, who's a man who is paralyzed after a brutal attack on him and his wife happens, and basically this crazy millionaire puts a chip in his brain with AI that allows him to do crazy things. So him and that chip form a bond, much like Eddie and Venom, and they decide to go hunt down the person who did the crime, that left him paralyzed. And the film has some great acting, it's really well directed, the camera work, the visuals, the fight sequences are all top notch, the music and production design is all great for a film with such a low budget. Yeah, it's one of the best films of 2018 in my opinion, and the action sequences were insane, and it annoys me that not enough people saw this. And it's on iTunes and Netflix. Now, a film called Suspiria came out last year, and I didn't get the chance to see it. However, my friend Karma Critic did, so he's going to fill you in on what happened in that, and why you should go see Suspiria.
Suspiria, the 2018 remake. Now, I know it's a remake, but don't let that fool you. It's actually a really good movie. The plot is quite interesting. It's definitely different from its previous incarnation, the original Suspiria. The performances of Tilda Swinton and Dakota Johnson are awesome. The direction by Luca Guadagnino is really good. And the soundtrack overall is one of the best of the year. I don't know if it's just because I'm biased towards Radiohead and anything them, but Thom Yorke's score was amazing. I have it downloaded. Anyway, I think it's one of the most snubbed films of the year. Definitely should have been nominated. It's a shame that many award shows are basically ignoring it. Goodbye.
So, thanks for watching everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. This was just a different video where I want to talk about the films of 2018 that people didn't see or missed or pretty much overlooked. Thanks to Karma Critic for helping out. Yeah, so thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.